Today I fucked up by using ass instead of loss. My recently bereaved friend replied to an email I had sent her after the passing of her husband. They had been married for around 10 years and his very unexpected passing came as a shock to everyone in our small social circle. I had emailed her a few lines of condolences when it happened. Since we live very far apart, my friend and I go through these periods where we would talk on the phone every day, paragraphs upon paragraphs of texts exchanged, email chains that go on for months, and furthermore any and everything gets talked about. In contrast, however, then there are lulls in our friendship where we might go months without even exchanging a hello. I don't know if we are just great friends who suddenly have nothing to say to each other but are comfortable with the long silences, or we are just crappy friends who only burden and unload onto each other when we feel like it. Regardless, that is our dynamic. So when she lost her husband, we happened to be in one of those lulls. I did call her very early on and we talked briefly. The conversation was stilted. She wasn't all there and understandably I gave her space to figure things out. But I did email her the same week, a smallish email, just talking about a few things and generally being supportive. I did mention in the email to not worry about replying until she feels up for it. I won't feel bad about not receiving a reply, that I understand. Well, she did take a while to reply, a few months. And that is all well and good. In her reply she thanked me and said she is still working through everything but getting better. A short, concise email. I figured I'd take it on me to reply back with one of those emails we usually send each other that are a hodgepodge of any and everything under the sun. Our emails can be inscrutable to outsiders because they jump from subject to subject, thought to thought, and tangents with callbacks that can only be deciphered if you have the shared common experiences we have had growing up. So I start writing this email, and as I'm pouring into it all I have been through recently, just to give her some recent context of my life, how I am doing with work, and my own family stuff going on. Throughout it all I am peppering in stuff about her loss, how I constantly think about her, worry about her, hope she is doing better. I keep using the word loss, and in fairness it is the right word for the occasion. Well, I write up what can easily be amounted to a 2-page essay and press send. I don't hear back from her for a week. Unusual, but I understand she has bigger priorities and concerns at the moments. A couple of days later I do receive a reply with just 3 words on it. What the fuck, weirdo? I am mortified. What did I say? I quickly open up the email to go over it. Perhaps in my stream of consciousness monologuing I said something unsavory or downright untoward to her. I read the whole email in a hurry and I see nothing wrong. It's rambling, but then most of our conversations are. It is all over the place with jokes strewn in right between condolences, but that is also the norm for us. I figure maybe it was too early to send her one of those emails. Maybe she is still recovering and does not appreciate me trying to move on or change the subject. I question everything. But I give up and go about my day, mentally preparing to write a short apology email to her asking pardon for whatever I did wrong and leaving it at that for a while. At the end of the day I decide to read through the email once again, but slowly this time. Really go through it, not in the frantic manner I had done earlier. And then it stand out to me, clear as day. I used the word ass in place of loss. In almost every instance I offered her condolences. I am so sorry for your ass. I cannot even comprehend your ass. What you must be going through right now. People say this kind of ass can be a really life-altering experience, but knowing you I can say for certain you will come through it the other side a stronger person. It went on like that. For many more instances. Ass substituted for loss. I genuinely and truly have no idea why that happened. I literally cannot comprehend why I went through a whole email making the same mistake. I am dumbfounded. I quickly understand her reply in the email. I am mortified. I am also a bit amused. But more than that, I am afraid she won't see the lighter side of the thing in her current state and that I might have really offended her. I'm hoping not. I'm up until 2 a.m. thinking about it all. It really unsettles me. Then I decided to just contact her again. I email her back and reply with a 3-word email of my own. Loss, not ass. She calls me back within 30 seconds of the email and all I hear is a cackling of laughter. She laughs until she cries and then laughs some more. We both pull up the email and start reading excerpts from it. Howling at each mistake. She calls me a dumbass, I agree. We talk into the wee hours of the night. She said she genuinely hadn't laughed like that since her husband's passing. I am just relieved all is well between us. Too long did not read. I accidentally emailed a bereaved friend and gave condolences for her ass instead of her loss. You're indeed in loss. Losshole. Good recovery. How do you type ass instead of loss every time? The letters lo and a are opposite sides of the keyboard. I am at a ass of words rn. Today I fucked up by not talking to someone who may have been my dream girl. This didn't happen today, but on Saturday 8/12. I was working security for the Jonas Brothers concert at Yankee Stadium. I was placed by the seats near the front of the stage, so I had to make sure aisles were clear and made sure no one potentially got on stage. This dude arrived and had seats that were next to the stage. This section had 16 seats, so it had 8 rows, 2 seats in each row. And his friend that had the other ticket wasn't able to attend, so there was an empty seat. But he had 2 other friends, 2 girls, with him that had seats further back and asked if one of them wanted the vacant seat. They both wanted it, clearly, and I jokingly said they had to fight for the seat, it's only right. One of the girls asked back jokingly, "Are you looking to see a cat fight?" And I said, "I need some entertainment." We joked back and forth for a few minutes and she was telling me how she flew back into the city earlier in the morning from Cali. The vacant seat was brought up again and I told her she can't sit there unless she fights for it, and she asked if I wanted to fight and I said we could step outside right now if she wanted to squabble. Technically, we're on a baseball field. And she said we're already outside. And I said step outside the stadium RN, and she started laughing. We exchanged names before I went back to checking tickets before the show started. She told me her was Gianna, at least I think that's how she spells it. I didn't get to talk to her too much, but the limited interaction I had with her just felt right. I didn't feel nervous or awkward, everything just flowed. The show had an intermission maybe halfway through, and during the intermission, it started drizzling. Then it started pouring. She walks up to me and I ask if she's having fun, and she laughs and says yes. We're both soaking wet, laughing, then the show resumes. During the performance, I was scanning the area to make sure everything is good, and I looked her way and we locked eyes, and whatever song was playing she started mouthing the words to the song while pointing at me, and I couldn't help but smile. I just couldn't get my eyes off of her, she was just so gorgeous. When the last song was playing, she left where she was to get a better view for a pic or vid. I thought she wouldn't go back to my area and thought I missed my chance. But she returned to thank me for tonight, and there was my chance to maybe get her number or Instagram at least, and I just completely froze. I was too nervous to ask and told her no problem and have a good night. I was so scared of possibly getting rejected. I didn't just ask to see if she felt what I was feeling. It's been 3 days and I absolutely regret not asking. 'Cause now I'll never know if I made the right choice or not. I legitimately get pissed thinking about it. If I could go back to that exact moment, I would just ask so I could at least have an answer. Too long did not read. I possibly may have found my dream girl, but I got too nervous to ask her for her number, and I probably might never see her again. Okay, small update. A few people told me about this IG page that's helped people with the issue that I'm having, and they've actually found the people, so I just messaged them and hoping they get back to me soon. Don't worry buddy, you will do this a lot more times for the rest of your life. On the bright side, it also means you will have many more opportunities. You were at Yankee Stadium and had the opportunity to get to second base with this girl. SMH. Let's hope she sees this and gets in touch. Dang, this is a sign to all the guys out there. This is the 3rd post I've seen where a dude missed his chance. Don't miss yours, even if you fail. Better to fail than to stay wondering what could have been. Do you have a missed connections website for your area? If so, post there. Good luck.